Hi everybody, this is Krista and I have today Tucker, my other special needs horse. Tucker is an Arabian. He's a little bit flighty. I originally got him to do sport horse Arabs in the show ring, and he's so flighty. The last time I took him to a show he bucked me off, so he is a bit of a drama king, so I think he's better as a YouTube candidate than a show candidate for right now. I actually call him my quarantine horse because he does better at home than he does when he's away from home. But I'm going to work with him a little bit today. Unfortunately, I'm under a time crunch, which is not a good thing to do when you're working with a bit of a volatile horse, because you need a lot of time to do some groundwork. I don't have that today. I have a call at 9 o'clock, which I'd like to attend. If I'm late, oh well, it's not a work call. I don't have to be on it right away, but it's something that I enjoy doing. But anyways, I'm going to work with him. I'm going to start him out. I have the saddle on, and normally what I do, he's pretty comfortable in this arena. So normally I saddle him, if I'm wanting a zen ride, I saddle him in here because he has a problem with our hitching post. And one time I had him up there and he pulled back and flipped over on his saddle. And I paid $2,000 for that saddle, and he broke the tree, so it became a worthless saddle. So these days he has not as expensive a saddle, and I started putting the saddle on in here because the footing is softer. If it comes off, that's okay. I don't tie him up. I just kind of dally a loop around the arena, because if I tied him, he could pull down the entire arena. So I just loop the lead around it. If he does pull back, he's not gonna pull on the arena. Anyways, we got the saddle on. He was good, he didn't pull back. And normally what I do is I put the saddle on and then I just lunge him around a little bit. If I decide not to do groundwork, which today I'm on a time crunch, I'm not gonna do groundwork, but I'll just lunge him around a little bit to gauge his demeanor and how he's responding to the saddle. I had an experience with my other horse, Wiley, one time. I took him to a gymkhana and I put a Western saddle on with the back cinch, and he was not used to that, and it was kind of a bad experience for him because it was a kind of a chaotic, a gymkhana is a little bit chaotic. It was at night. There were a lot of people running and riding and screaming and all that stuff. So he was a little bit rattled from that anyway. And then when I put the Western saddle on, which he wasn't used to, with a back cinch, I didn't lunge him around. I got on him. The back cinch was too tight. He bucked, the back cinch caught him in the stomach, and then he bucked me off and he stepped on my collarbone and broke it, and probably would have killed me because it came very close to my neck, or paralyzed me. But luckily that didn't happen. So since that time, if I'm working with kind of a skittish horse, he's not acting very skittish right now, he's pretty bored, but I will at least just monitor his reaction with the saddle. So I'm going to do that first, then I'm going to get on him and we'll do some bending exercises with him. And that's probably all I'll have time to do today. My plan is to get him to get round and soft and stretch. And that's kind of the plan I've been having with all my horses lately. I've been getting a little bit of that, but not totally, not like the holy grail type of stretch. So I'm going to work with him on this. I have this Pivo device, and it's amazing with these little camera devices here how you can find out all your riding flaws, because sometimes I think I ride like, Stephen Peters, but then when I look at it, it's like, nope, not quite. So it's a really good little training tool here when I don't have my trainer to tell me that I'm doing something wrong. Of course, I don't know until after the fact when I watch the video, but at least it's better than nothing, and then I can be a little bit more conscious and aware of how I'm riding. So here we go. This awkward lunging moment kind of reminds me of Timothy Mouse sporting a whip on the Dumbo ride when I was a kid. Interesting bit of trivia here. When I was looking into Timothy Mouse, I discovered that he no longer holds a whip on the Dumbo ride. That ride was revamped in 1993, and now Timothy Mouse holds a magic feather.
Use the magic feather. Catch on? The magic feather? Yeah.
I don't know if that was a PC call, most likely, but unfortunately I don't think I could get Tucker to move out with a magic feather. So here I am flailing my whip at him, and he's not very excitable, so I have some indication that he will probably not be super excitable and flighty under saddle the way he is acting. Okay, so that was his little warm-up. He looks pretty chill. He doesn't look like he's going to be doing a whole lot of freaking out today. But he has surprised me where he can go from 0 to like 60% in 2 seconds. So I'm always a little bit wary with this horse. And hopefully this Pivo will track pretty good. It's done a pretty good job for how, you know, inexpensive it was, but it doesn't track me all the time. Sometimes it misses. I lost the remote to it, so I have to just kind of come back and reconnect it with my horse and then try again from there. So we'll do what we can. I've included this part of the video for the benefit of all the rookie horse people out there. Here I'm trying to avoid the #1 preventable accident, which is getting on a horse with a loose girth. With a green horse like Tucker, or with any horse really, I typically don't cinch or girth the saddle very tightly initially because it's just plain rude. It also can cause some behavioral problems like cinchiness. Horses can anticipate being girthed and will tense the muscles in the rib cage, and the girth becomes looser when they relax. To get around this, I try to gradually tighten the girth, and I do this several times. I absolutely do not want a loose girth with a horse that can be spooky or volatile. If the saddle slips while I'm riding, I am not only in danger of falling or getting hurt, but it can be extremely traumatic for a hyper-reactive horse. Furthermore, the saddle can be damaged if it slips under the horse's belly and gets hit by his legs. Just ugly all around and so preventable. I don't have a mic. As you can see, my horse does not stretch really well into the contact. He's pretty because he has a nice arched neck, but he's curly. So one of the things that I've tried to work with him on is really getting him to stretch his neck all the way out so that he will pick up the contact with the rings. And we just do this kind of like a Western pleasure horse, you know, a little bit of a peanut roller here. But we're going to try to get him to start tracking up with his feet and move that stretch more through his entire body instead of just like in his neck, because he's got a very flexible neck. Just doing a little bit of flexing and counter flexing with him to see if I can get him to grab and take the reins farther down. wanted to talk a bit about this flexing and counterflexing exercise. In the counterflex, I'm trying to encourage Tucker to step more underneath his body with his outside hind leg. At the same time, I flex his neck to the outside of the arena. When he tracks up a bit with the hind leg and gives me a better connection with the rein, I then soften and give the rein slightly, hoping he'll take the rein down and forward. I then do the same with the inside rein and leg. Looking down can interfere a bit with the process as I can't keep my seat bones as well connected in the saddle, and so my seat is not as effective in helping my horse step up underneath his body with his hind legs. Since I can't always feel if he is stretching well without looking, I try to keep my sternum up and just glance at his head to see if his neck and poll form a somewhat continuous line, which will give me an indication of whether or not his nose is on or in front of the vertical. So if I counterflex him and then I give him a circle, so when I'm counterflexing, reaching up further with his right hind, and then if I do a circle, his right hind will be up further underneath him, and then he can bring his left hind underneath him as well. And as you can see, he stretches a little bit here. We will also do a little bit of leg yield just to mobilize his pelvis a little bit, get a little locked up in his pelvis. Like that, that's a good thing. You want them to breathe like that. That's like a Zen thing. Gonna do another leg yield and see if I can mobilize his pelvis just a little bit, get him stepping up underneath him on the left side, or the right side. As you can see, he's not always happy with this. This is just a little bit. Try trotting him a little bit. And then try again to get the stretch. Tucker was very curled at the first part of this specific clip. So to remedy that, I raised my hands momentarily and set them back down again. This action will put the bit against the roof of his mouth and cause him to raise his head slightly. I can then close my legs to encourage him to step more into the contact while his head is in a more raised position. Okay, I'm back here. I don't know if you could have heard me in some of the stuff I was saying way down there. But what I did with him, and I didn't work him very long, and I'm not going to because of lack of time, but I tried to get him to stretch. He does not stretch ideally yet. It's just going to take a long process. The problem with these types of horses, these horses that are a little bit spooky, as a rider, mentally it's really hard for me to let go of control and give up some of my reins. And what he needs is he needs a longer rein, or not a longer rein, but he needs more room to use his body, or else he gets tight and tense. So it's kind of a catch-22 for us, because I don't like him tight and tense, but I don't want him just to, I don't want to be all floppy and then just let him bolt. and throw me off. So I'm a little bit prepared, and then of course I get tense, he gets tense. I did a little bit of sitting trot, because with the sitting trot I can keep my center of gravity a little bit lower than if I do posting trot. It's not as great to get the horse to use his back correctly, but I feel a little bit more secure when I do sitting trot because I can keep my center of balance lower, and then I will not, if he decides to bolt or something, I will have a better chance of staying on. He did pretty good today. I'm going to just do a little bit of stretchy trot at the end here, and that's going to be my wrap up for our work. He didn't do a whole lot. He's kind of a he's a little bit of a temperamental horse, and he has a very small bunny basket, so I don't like to rock it too much. I'll push it a little bit. Today I'm on a trim crunch, so not going to go there. He did pretty good. He was really good, actually. So I'm going to just do a little bit of stretchy trot to end, and that will be the video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to this channel, I usually post about horses, personal finance, and personal finance for equestrian and horse owners. So if that's of interest to you, please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified every time I post a new video. And I'm going to just wrap this up here with a little bit of stretchy trot, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.